Hello all, myself Sawan Wani. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for the more engineering videos. Further, after completion of power plant videos, we are going to conduct some extra lectures regarding various engineering concepts. So now today we are going to see the power plant instrumentation lectures. We are uh, conducting various lectures and point wise lectures on power plant instrumentation. So this lecture is related with the measurement of impurities of the actual type of impurities which are available in any system in the power plant design. Basically, up till now we have seen the measurement of temperature, then measurement of steam pressure, then water pressure, how the level measurement is done for a particular boiler drum, then what are the various impurities in water or steam. So basically all these parameters leads to the another component known as measurement of impurities. So the measurement of impurities is more important in order to find the amount of impurities in any water flow or steam flow, because these impurities will naturally blow down the efficiency of the boiler, and at the same time it will reduce the life of the boiler. So the impurities we have seen yesterday that the impurities of the particular water are much carried away with the help of raw water. Then it is also there in condensate water also, then and also in the makeup water. So the measurement of impurities is much more important, and we can measure the impurities or we can analyze the impurities in the following manner. So we are going to start with our first slide, measurement of impurities. To find the exact amount of impurities present in water and steam, the following analysis or measurements are done. So the first measurement of impurity is conductivity. Second is pH value, that is hydrogen ion concentration, and dissolved oxygen analysis. So these three measurements can be done in order to find the actual amount of impurities present in water and steam. So going to the next second slide, the measurement of impurities, conductivity. So conductivity measurements are done for ascertaining the salt contents in feed water, condensate and steam. Conductivity of pure water is very low. So see that for measurement of conductivity, we have to first, while measuring conductivity, actually it is related with the salt contents in feed water, condensate water and steam, because this salt contents, as we have seen yesterday, that this salt contents will reduce the life and the efficiency of the boiler. So therefore the conductivity measurement is more important, and so we will see here that conductivity of pure water is very low. The presence of impurities increases the conductivity. So see that if the presence of impurity is there, it will increase the conductivity of that particular fluid. Measurement of conductivity can be used to determine the amount of total dissolved solids in water. So if you have to find how much percentage of dissolved salts or dissolved solids are there in water, so the conductivity of that particular water is more important. Electrolyte conductivity is the ability of the solution to pass an electric current. So we know that the electrolysis process, where an anode and cathode electrodes are present, and it measures the conductivity of a particular solution. So that electrolyte conductivity is nothing but the ability of solution to pass an electric current. Then conductivity, which is a reciprocal of resistivity, would increase with increasing impurities present in the solution. So conductivity is measured by a conductivity cell. So basically see that while measuring this particular value of conductivity, the main focus is to see that whether how much amount of electric current is passed through an electrolyte, so that we can measure the conductivity of the particular fluid. Then next here, one diagram is shown here, which is how the measurement of conductivity is done. We are having a mounting flange. From the top, we can observe that particular flange, and an enveloping electrode, that is the particular electrode which is there present inside the solution, and it is attached with a resistance thermometer in order to measure the temperature of the surrounding. And also for this, an insulation is provided, and the insulation material is can be taken as any type of rubber, or a particular insulation arrangement can be provided there. So the figure shows a detecting element for very low concentrations. The electrodes are arranged concentrically. So as we can see that these electrodes are having the same axis. They are placed on same axis. So therefore it is concentric. The external electrode is connected to the assembly fitting and thus grounded by piping or tank, so that the wall effects cannot influence the measurement. So see that the external electrode is connected to assembly fitting. The assembly fitting is nothing but the actual mounting flange. On that flange we are having the external electrode. The internal electrode is insulated and encloses a resistance thermometer for temperature correction. That we have just now seen that this internal electrode is mounted with an resistance thermometer. The assembly for very low concentrations has a somewhat thicker internal electrode compared to that for low concentration assembly. So as per the requirement, the changes can be done for the measurement of the impurities. That is, first is conductivity. Then going for the next type of impurities, that is hydrogen ion concentration, that is the pH. So we know that pure water is tasteless, it is odorless, and it is neutral. So natural and commercial waters are never pure. Due to the solvent nature of water and due to ionization, the condition of water will be alkaline or acidic. So we know that the amount of water, that is the purity of water, is first measured by pH, by its pH value. So we are having a pH scale also, but first is whenever a pure water is been sent, or we can say that we are having a sample of a pure water, so we cannot directly say that it is fully free of impurities. It will be having some type of impurities or the other present. So this pH scale will determine the water, whether it is neutral, whether it is alkaline, or whether it is acidic. But generally the pure water which is available is tasteless, odorless, and it is neutral. So the measures are always done for making the pure water either alkaline or up to neutral state. So a scale called pH scale has been devised to measure the intensity of acidity and alkalinity of a solution. It is a logarithm of the reciprocal of hydrogen ion concentration, that is grams per liter. How much concentration of hydrogen ion is present in the sample of water, and so dependent on that the pH value of the particular water is determined. So this is the scale which is shown. It is known as a pH scale. So if the top values, we can see it is starting from 0 to up to 14. So it is known as the pH value. So you can see at 7, that is, if pH is equal to 7, then the water will be actually in neutral condition. If it is less than 7, so the water becomes acidic in nature, and if it is more than 7, the water becomes a basic solution, which is an alkali solution. So the addition of the acids reduces its pH value, and therefore the pH value is reduced if the acidic contents are more. So for example, we will take now here that the pH value is the measure of the strength of an acid or the neutral character of the solution. So pH 1 is strongly acidic and pH 14 is strongly basic. So see here that pH 1, that is means the value of the water which is pH is 1, it is a strongly acidic solution of a particular water. And if pH is equal to 14, that is pH value is 14, then the solution is strongly a basic solution. pH 7, as we have seen, it is a neutral solution. But now see one example that how the pH value is determined. pH 5 is 10 times as acidic as pH 6. Now see, this is pH 5 and we are having this pH 6. So the value of the pH increases in the range of tens, that is 10 times. It means that if we are having pH 5 value something of a solution, then the pH 5 is 10 times acidic as pH 6, and pH 4 is 100 times as acidic as pH 6. So what happens is like in this way, that as the pH value is reduced from 7 to 0, the particular value of acidic nature becomes lower and lower, and at the same time it increases when the value becomes acidic. So therefore pH 4 is 100 times as acidic as pH 6. If then we can say that if we have to find the value of pH 3, then that pH 3 will be 1000 times acidic as pH 6. Then pH 2 will be 10,000 times as acidic as pH 6. So in this way the pH scale is working. Then going for next type of measurement of impurity, which is the dissolved oxygen analysis. The dissolved oxygen in feed water is a corrosion accelerator. It is measured in parts per minute, that is ppm. Analysis to quantify dissolved oxygen can be done either by laboratory method or by online analysis. Chemical titration method is normally used to find the quantity of dissolved oxygen from the sample collected. The validity of measurement will be under suspicion as the delay causes absorption of oxygen from the atmosphere into the sample. Special portable kits are used to carry out the testing on the spot. So while measuring the dissolved oxygen, generally yesterday we have seen that if the dissolved oxygen is there in the sample of a feed water, then it causes corrosion, because oxygen directly reacts with the inside part of the boiler walls. So mostly the corrosion is created. So what the requirement is that we have to quantify that how much amount of dissolved oxygen is present, and therefore how it can be treated. Either it can be treated by laboratory method, or it should be treated by the means on the line when it is in operation. So therefore certain chemicals are added in order to reduce the amount of dissolved oxygen, and therefore the chemical titration method is normally used. Then this is one example of a dissolved oxygen analyzer. It is known as a Wallace and Tierman dissolved oxygen analyzer. So see, it is containing two units. One is a sampling cell unit, and second is a indicator and transmitter unit. So the sample is sent to the sampling cell unit. Then in that how much amount of dissolved oxygen is present, that is indicated, and then it is transferred via an electrical signal to the system, so that the amount of dissolved oxygen analysis can be done. So the concentration of dissolved oxygen in boiler water is measured by electrochemical analysis in this analyzer. It is continuous and automatic. It is divided into two units: sampling cell unit and transmitter indicator unit. Reference electrode, platinum measuring electrode, and calibration cell are accommodated in the sampling unit. Sample flow, then pressure, temperature, and conductivity are measured and controlled here. The transmitter and indicator unit consists of electronic circuits required for measurement, transmission, and calibration. So see that this a block diagram is shown here of the Wallace and Tierman dissolved oxygen analyzer. So this will help us to find the exact amount of the dissolved oxygen in the particular sample of water, and so that we can chemically treat them and reduce it, and then the water can become a pure water. Measurement of impurities, another type is a cathrometer. So this cathrometer also will measure the amount of the impurities for the dissolved oxygen gas analyzer. So it is having four components, four major components are there. So all of you will be familiar with this diagram, which is known as a Wheatstone bridge circuit, and this Wheatstone bridge circuit will help us to find the balance and unbalanced condition, and so that how much amount of oxygen is there or how much amount of hydrogen is particularly there in the particular water sample. So it is having four parts: cooler, scrubber, then hydrogen producer, that is hydrogen gas producer, and the Wheatstone bridge circuit. When the water sample is cooled and scrubbed by hydrogen, the dissolved oxygen present in the water gets displaced to form a mixture of hydrogen and oxygen. So see guys, that this is a major point in this working of cathrometer, that if this water sample is cooled, then and after that it is scrubbed by hydrogen, means it is mixed with hydrogen, then the dissolved oxygen present in the water is getting displaced, and it comes up into the form of hydrogen and oxygen mixture. Wheatstone bridge circuit is used to measure the amount of dissolved oxygen. The heated wires of the bridge circuit is exposed to hydrogen in two opposite arms and to hydrogen oxygen mixture in the other two arms. So see, as Wheatstone bridge circuit are having four arms, so in that the particular heated wires of the bridge circuit is exposed to hydrogen in two atoms, means these two arms, you can see the opposite arms are exposed to hydrogen gas, and these two opposite arms are exposed to hydrogen oxygen mixture. So the unequal cooling of the heated filaments makes the bridge imbalanced, because one of the gas is in cooled condition and other of the gas is in heated condition. So therefore there is an unequal cooling between the two systems, and therefore it makes the bridge imbalanced. The unbalanced voltage can be calibrated to indicate the dissolved oxygen. The four major parts of cathrometer are cooler, scrubber, hydrogen producer, and Wheatstone bridge circuit. So see, from this area we can observe that this Wheatstone bridge circuit will help us to find out the dissolved oxygen gas analyzer. So in this lecture, we have seen the various types of impurity measurements, conductivity, then pH value, that is hydrogen ion concentration, then and then how the dissolved oxygen gas analyzer, that is Wallace and Tierman dissolved oxygen gas analyzers, and this cathrometer. So in further lectures we are going to see the next points related to power plant instrumentation. As this it is a very lengthy part, we are distributing the various points of power plant instrumentation in various lectures, so that it is very easy to understand for all of you. So subscribe to my YouTube channel for having the remaining videos also. It will help us in the formation and then equal design of the power plant system. Thank you.